I want you to think about your best friend, the person who knows your deepest secrets, the person you call at 2 a.m. when everything falls apart, the person who sits beside you at your lowest and tells you everything will be okay. Now imagine slowly realizing that every single thing that went wrong in your life for the past 4 years had her fingerprints on it. Not a stranger, not an enemy. Your best friend, the person who cried at your failures, was also the person who created them. My name is Sarah, and what I discovered about my best friend Layla changed everything I thought I knew about the people closest to me. But here's the thing that still keeps me up at night. I'm still not sure I know the full truth, and I'm not sure I ever will. Part 1. Sarah and Layla. Layla and I met in college, freshman year, same dormitory floor, room 14 and room 16. She knocked on my door the first night holding 2 cups of instant noodles and said, "I don't know anyone here. Do you want to be confused together?" I laughed for the first time in 3 days. We were inseparable from that moment. Same major, marketing. Same taste in terrible reality TV. Same dream of moving to New York and working at a big agency after graduation. Layla was magnetic, funny and sharp and effortlessly charming. The kind of person rooms reorganize around when she walks in. I was quieter, more reserved, the writer to her talker. We balanced each other perfectly. Or so I thought. 4 years of college together. Then we both moved to New York like we always planned. Different agencies, but same city. Brunches on Sundays. Phone calls every other day. By the time we were 27, Layla was the maid of honor at my wedding that never happened. Because 6 weeks before my wedding, my fiancé called it off. And that was the first crack in a story I didn't yet know I was living inside. Part 2. When things started falling apart. Let me walk you through 4 years of things I didn't connect at the time. Year 1, I applied for a senior copywriter position at one of the top agencies in the city. Dream job. Perfect fit. I had an inside contact who said I was the frontrunner. I didn't get the job. They said another candidate with stronger references came through at the last minute. I was devastated. Layla brought wine and takeout that night, held my hand while I cried, said, "Their loss. You're too good for them anyway." Year 2, I started dating Marcus. Smart, kind, creative. The first person I had genuinely liked in years. After our 3rd date, Layla sat me down very seriously and told me she had heard something about Marcus from a mutual friend, that he had cheated on his previous girlfriend. Repeatedly. I confronted Marcus. He was confused and hurt, denied everything completely. But the seed was planted. We lasted 2 more months before I ended it, over growing mistrust. Year 3, I wrote a personal essay that went quietly viral in our industry. A creative director at a major firm reached out wanting to meet. I told Layla excitedly. The meeting never happened. The creative director's assistant later told me they had tried to reach me multiple times, but my contact information on the piece was somehow listed incorrectly. My email address, which I had listed correctly. Year 4. The wedding that wasn't. Daniel and I had been together 2 years, engaged for 8 months. 6 weeks before the ceremony, he called me and said he couldn't do it. He said he had heard things about my past, things about my character, from someone close to both of us. He wouldn't say who. I spent 3 months trying to figure out what he had heard and from whom, and getting nowhere. Until a Tuesday afternoon in October, when I got a phone call from someone I hadn't spoken to in 2 years. Marcus, my ex-boyfriend from year 2. Part 3. Marcus calls. I almost didn't answer. We hadn't spoken since our breakup, and it hadn't ended well, but something made me pick up. "Sarah," he said, "I know this is out of nowhere, but I need to tell you something I probably should have told you a long time ago." I sat down slowly. Marcus told me that after our breakup, he had done some digging, because the cheating story had always bothered him. It was so specific, so detailed, and so completely false. He traced it back through 3 mutual connections to its original source, Layla. Layla had told someone who told someone who told someone until it reached me in a way that couldn't be traced back to her. Perfectly constructed. I felt the room tilt slightly. "Why are you telling me this now?" I asked. Marcus paused. "Because last week I ran into Daniel, your ex-fiancé. We got talking, and he told me why he called off the wedding." Another pause. "Sarah, Daniel called it off because Layla told him you had been unfaithful to him. Multiple times. She had screenshots, fabricated ones, but convincing ones." I didn't say anything for a long time. "There's more," Marcus said quietly. "I think she's been doing this longer than you know. I think she's been doing this since before college ended, and I don't think you're the only one. Part 4. Going deeper. After I hung up with Marcus, I sat completely still for 40 minutes. Then I started going back, really going back. I pulled out an old journal I kept in college. I looked up every opportunity I had missed, every relationship that had fallen apart, every door that had closed unexpectedly. And I started looking for Layla's fingerprints. They were everywhere. The job I didn't get, Layla had known my inside contact personally, had dinner with her 2 weeks before the position was filled. The email that was listed incorrectly on my viral essay, Layla had offered to proofread the piece before I submitted it. The creative director who never contacted me, Layla worked 2 floors below that firm in the same building. Pattern after pattern after pattern, all explainable individually, all devastating collectively. I called my friend Priya, who had known both of us since college. I told her everything Marcus had told me. Priya went completely silent. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. "Sarah, 6 months ago, Layla told me something about you. Something I didn't fully believe, but that changed how I saw you for a while. I never told you because I didn't want to cause drama, but now I need to ask you directly. Did you ever say that you thought Priya was using you for connections?" I had never said that. Not once, not even close. "She told me you said it," Priya said quietly. "At dinner. 3 months before that, she told Jamie that you said Jamie was only interesting when she was useful. Sarah, I think she's been doing this to all of us. For years." Part 5. Confrontation. I arranged to meet Layla for our usual Sunday brunch. I didn't tell her anything in advance. I sat across from her at our regular table, at our regular restaurant, and watched her be completely normal, laughing, ordering her usual, asking about my week. And I thought about 4 years of wine and takeout and hand-holding, while she quietly dismantled my life with the other hand. I put my phone on the table face up. Marcus had sent me screenshots, conversations Layla had with Daniel that Daniel had forwarded to him. I slid the phone across to her. Layla looked down at the screen. Her face didn't collapse the way I expected it to. She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She didn't deny. She just looked at the phone for a very long time. Then she looked up at me very calmly and said, "How much do you know?" Not, "I can explain." Not, "That's not what it looks like." "How much do you know?" I felt something shift permanently in the way I understood the world. "Enough," I said. She nodded slowly. Then she picked up her coffee cup, took a sip, set it down carefully, and said, "You should know that I did all of this for a reason you don't know yet, a reason that goes back further than you think, and when you find out what it is, you might understand. You might even forgive me, or you might not. But Sarah, you should ask your mother about the summer before freshman year. Ask her what really happened, and then decide how you feel about me." She stood up, left $40 on the table, and walked out of the restaurant without looking back. I sat there completely alone, staring at the money on the table for a very long time, wondering what my mother had to do with any of this, wondering if I actually wanted to know, wondering if the answer would change everything again. I haven't asked yet. I'm still deciding if I'm ready. The life of someone they called their best friend? I don't know, but I'm going to find out, and when I do, I'll come back and tell you everything. If this story made you uneasy, it should. Drop a comment below. Do you think Layla had a reason? Or is there ever a reason that makes this okay? I genuinely want to know what you think. Subscribe to Hally Vault so you don't miss part 2.